All right, the NFL draft is done. Let's talk about a few players whose values took a huge hit after the draft. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jake, Fantasy Headliners, coming to you today talking about a few players whose value took a huge hit after the NFL draft. These are some guys that a lot of us were pretty high on. But, the teams made their selections and the rookies went where they went, and now all of a sudden we're left with a fantasy mess. I'm not going to waste your time, so let's get into the top 10 fantasy players who took a hit after the NFL draft. First one on my list that I want to talk about is going to be Carlos Hyde. And we kind of knew this one was coming, right? We just didn't know with who. There was rumors of Saquon Barkley, or at least a running back somewhere. Well, that running back happened in the second round, and it's Nick Chubb. And a lot of us are pretty high on Nick Chubb, and deservedly so. The kid was a stud at Georgia. He was just, I don't want to say he was forgotten about, but he was just dropped a little bit farther down the list after his sophomore year injury. Yeah, he blew out his knee. But he's back, and he's looked great for a year and a half. He's not quite as fast as he was, but the cuts are still there, the agility's still there, the home run speed is still there. It's just not breakaway speed anymore. But he still has tons of talent, and Carlos Hyde's going to take a hit. Hyde's still going to play. It's not like he's just going to ride the bench and watch. But now you have a full-blown committee in Cleveland. You got Carlos Hyde, Nick Chubb, Duke Johnson still in the mix. They're viable options. Just not a solid stud anywhere. Right now, Carlos Hyde is no more than an RB2 flex play at best. Number 2, we're going to Washington, and we're going to be talking about Samaje Perine and Fat Rob Kelly. Those two guys pretty much have no value anymore. Darius Geis fell all the way down to Washington in the second round, and he's going to take that job easily. Now, I don't really think Washington's going to have a huge run game. They're going to use Geis. Whether he is really productive with it is to be seen. Their offensive line is a mess. But Samaje Perine and Fat Rob are going to have no value. Like none. I wouldn't even roster them. And it's a way deep league. Darius Geis is going to get all the work. And these two guys are going to take the brunt of it. And they're going to be watching from the bench. Number 3 on my list is going to be Rex Burkhead. I think we were all kind of caught off guard a little bit with the New England Patriots first-round pick of Sony Michel. And I know that's a weird name, but the dude can ball out of Georgia. All these reports were coming out pre-draft that he had injury concerns, but you can't believe anything during the draft. It's like a presidential election. Everybody's just trying to get dirt on people. Same thing in the NFL. But New England didn't seem to care. They took him anyway, and Rex Burkhead's going to take the hit for it. Sony Michel's kind of like a Dion Lewis type back, except better. He's quick, he's strong, he can break tackles, he's a great pass catcher. It's exactly what New England wants. So even though Rex Burkhead will play, this is going to eat into his playing time a ton. I'm going to probably stay away from Rex Burkhead this year. Number 4 is going to be Emmanuel Sanders. Now, I liked Emmanuel Sanders before the draft, but now not so much. They drafted Cortland Sutton and DeSean Hamilton with Royce Freeman in the backfield, and I have a feeling that Sanders is going to be one getting the shaft here. All right, he's expensive. He's getting older. They're going to be bringing these rookies in. DeSean Hamilton is literally like Emmanuel Sanders 10 years ago. Okay, it's the same type of receiver. I'm looking for Denver to move on from Emmanuel Sanders. Now, if he does get dealt, we'll reevaluate him then. But as of right now, as a member of the Denver Broncos, I think he's the one that gets the short straw, and the rookies start to take over. Number 5 is going to be LeGarrette Blount. I was kind of sneaky high on Blount, sneaky-ish, as an RB4 or 5 on my roster because he was rated so low. But now, I don't even know if he's worth that. Now, Detroit's running game is trying to get better, and they just took Kerryon Johnson. And I have a feeling Kerryon Johnson's going to take the job outright. LeGarrette Blount is only probably going to be used 5 carries a game. He may get the goal line work, short yardage and goal line, but that's about it. I mean, he's going to be a total shot in the dark from week to week. This Kerryon Johnson's a 3-down back, and LeGarrette Blount kind of was too, but he may take more of a leadership role, mentoring the young kid, and may only see a handful of carries a game. LeGarrette Blount has almost no value anymore. Number 6, and this one's going to seem like a little bit of a shock. Not that I was super high on him, and not that anybody was super high on him, but Chris Carson in Seattle. Seattle kind of shocked the world and took Rashad Penny. Why? You have no offensive line in Seattle, but yet you took a running back when you had a running back. This makes no sense. There were so many needs in Seattle, and you chose a running back. Now, I love Rashad Penny. I think he's a great running back, and I had him ranked pretty high. But this makes no sense. This is a horrible spot for Rashad Penny. And Chris Carson, what did he do? I thought he did great with what he was given last year, but they've pretty much already moved on for him. Maybe the injury he sustained last year, something hasn't come out yet, and maybe he's not ready to go. But whatever it is, doesn't look like Chris Carson's going to be getting the lead job anytime soon. Because if there is any, mention of a run game in Seattle, Rashad Penny's the better back, and he's going to take it. Number 7 is going to be Dede Westbrook, somebody we talked about on this channel a lot last year. We thought he had potential breakout ability this year. And then they went and picked up Dante Moncrief in the offseason, and then they just drafted DJ Chark in the NFL draft. I love DJ Chark. I'm a huge Chark Week. Hashtag Chark Week. Remember that, y'all. That's his new nickname for the year. I like that kid out in Jacksonville, and the reports are already coming out that Dede Westbrook's being relegated to special teams duty, so he's already gotten the short straw, and that kind of hampers his breakout potential of 2018. Whatever hype you had for Dede Westbrook, you can go ahead and throw it in the garbage. Number 8, and I promise I don't hate the Broncos, but I'm going to give you another one. Let's talk about Devante Booker in the backfield. He was kind of going to get an opportunity this year. When they cut C.J. Anderson, Devante Booker was the next best option. And then they went out and drafted Royce Freeman out of Oregon. And if you haven't seen Royce Freeman play, go Google it. Go watch another video. Royce Freeman is a stud. 3-down back, pass-catching ability. The kid can do it all. And he's going to win that job in Denver. It's going to be easy. Booker he doesn't even need to show up. He's not going to get a chance unless Freeman gets hurt. And that's about it. Royce Freeman's a stud. Devante Booker's paying the price. Not that Devante Booker was huge on anybody's draft list, but this is just another reason to keep him on the waiver wire. Number 9 is going to be Pierre Garçon. And I know a few of you are saying, but you've talked about him in past videos about a potential breakout this year or a sleeper. And he was, and he still kind of is because he's lower rated. But the addition of Dante Pettis just takes targets away from him. I don't think this severely hurts Garçon's upside for the year, but it just takes away a few of the targets that I had planned for Garçon. Not a huge number, but even if Pettis gets somewhere right around 40 catches, that's a little bit of Garçon's share right there. He takes a slight hit. Still like Pierre Garçon, the numbers are just going to be a little bit lower now that Dante Pettis is in town. Number 10 may be a little bit surprising because I guarantee he's targeted on some of y'all's draft boards, and that's going to be Juju Smith-Schuster. Now, I still like Juju. I still like Juju a lot, but Pittsburgh just went out and drafted James Washington. He won the award for the best wide receiver in college football last year, and the guy's pretty good. All right, he's pretty good. Really good. But same kind of thing with Juju as I was talking about with Garçon. I don't think he takes all of Juju's work by any means. But a few of those targets that Juju was going to be getting now go to James Washington. So instead of Juju getting the full share of a wide receiver 2 on Pittsburgh, now it's kind of shared again, and he kind of falls into the same role as he had last year. Kind of when Martavis Bryant was in town. James Washington kind of takes that Martavis Bryant share. So now Juju's back to where he was last year, which is still great, still productive, just not as high as I had hoped. All right, everybody, those are my top 10 players who took a little bit of a fantasy hit after the NFL draft. If I didn't cover somebody like usual, make sure you hit me up down below in the comment section. I'll make sure I'll answer every one of them personally, and we'll get you taken care of. I really appreciate the support. Make sure you guys are liking, commenting, subscribing, and we'll be talking to you later. Thanks.